Hi, everybody. So, I grew up in Silicon Valley, California, and I'll tell you something, it's not an easy place to succeed. Silicon Valley is the epicenter of technology, of innovation, and of new ideas. Basically, everything we use today, from smartphones to the internet to other applied technology, came from Silicon Valley. And this is because Silicon Valley is this melting pot of geniuses, okay? They come from all over the world to study, to work, to create, and to succeed in Silicon Valley. And these geniuses, they marry other geniuses, and then they have little genius babies. And they're all in this race to succeed. And it starts off at a very early phase. There's even mothers that let their children, their babies, listen to Mozart because there's a theory that it'll help the child's brain develop and that one day they'll become smarter because of it and more successful. I'm not really sure about the whole Mozart thing. My mother, she's Austrian, and when I was a baby, she listened to Misho Kovac, and I turned out okay. Thank you. But I guess the accepted formula for success is that success equals preparation plus effort. And so I guess it's accepted that, if you go to the right school, or if you listen to Mozart as a baby, and you go to the right school, and then you go to the right college, and you listen to the right professors, and take the right courses, and read the right books, and if you really try hard enough, one day, something's going to happen, and you're going to succeed. And I really never believed in that formula. I always thought there was one missing piece, and that piece is luck. Yes, luck. And so some of you are going to say, well, Marko, isn't luck something that's random, something that you can't have any influence on, something that you can't foresee? Well, yeah, I agree with you. There is some luck that is random. But the luck that I'm talking about is something that the Roman philosopher Seneca defined as luck being when preparation meets opportunity, right? So let's think about that. If luck is preparation plus opportunity, if we put that into our original formula, we get that success equals preparation plus effort plus opportunity. And this makes more sense than the luck part, right? But then again, what is opportunity? And why is it so crucial? Well, I'll tell you why. I know a lot of people that are brilliant, that they went to the right colleges, they took the right courses, and they have such a will to succeed. They put every effort into success, but yet they're not successful. And some opportunities they decided to go into, to venture into, didn't succeed. They failed. And I see it that they failed because they weren't able to analyze the opportunity in the right way. They weren't able to see that this opportunity, even though at that point it seemed good, it was actually bad. The thing about recognizing opportunity is that it's very personal. It's almost that, perception is reality. And so I see that opportunity is really in the eye of the beholder. And there's this great story that I like to tell about opportunity, and it's about a owner of a shoe company. And he wanted to expand his business to Africa. So he took two of his best salesmen and sent them to Africa for some time to go do some market research. And they went from city to city, from village to village. They saw what the trends were, talked to the local people. And after some time, they came back to present their findings to the owner. And so the first salesman comes in to the office of the owner and says, listen, boss, I don't think we should go into Africa, There's no potential there. Nobody wears shoes. So the owner thanked him, sent him away, and invited the other sales guy to come in. And this guy's just excited. He comes running in, he's waving his hands, and he's saying, listen, boss, we have to invest everything we can into Africa. We have to invest it right now. It's an untapped market. We're going to make millions because nobody wears shoes there. Huh? So you see how it's about perception? And this is a great example of how two people who, let's say, went through life with the success formula, they probably have the same preparation, because they probably went to they have similar educational backgrounds since they're both in sales. They both have effort, right? They both went to Africa. They both, saw the same things. But the opportunity part is something that they saw differently. And so opportunity is something that I guess has also been something I struggled with my early life, when I was just starting out in business, because it's so hard to define what the right opportunity is. And I remember the first time that I actually started thinking about business and opportunities was when I was like 14 years old. So my family and I, we were still living in Silicon Valley, but every summer we'd go to this little island off the coast of Dubrovnik. It's called Lopud. And it's a beautiful island, but there was one major problem for a 14-year-old boy being on this island, and that was there was no girls. It was terrible. It's almost existential problem, So I thought to myself, hey, how do we get more women here? Maybe if I opened up a nightclub. If I opened up a nightclub on Lopud, the girls would come. And so that year, while I was thinking about this idea, I had the luck that a friend of my father's was with us on Lopud, and he's a venture capitalist from Silicon Valley. And so he thought this was pretty fun, how I was thinking about business. And he said, listen, I'm going to invest in your business, and you'll open up this nightclub, but you have to make me a financial analysis, a profit and loss statement, and a forecast of future revenue. So I was like 14 years old, the first time I heard these words. But this man sat beside me, and we both made a financial analysis about this nightclub. And it was amazing. It was amazing how it was the first time I saw an idea, and I was able to, qualify it and qualify the opportunity. Did it make sense to open up this nightclub? Well, of course, summer went by. I went back to America, and I guess the idea of the nightclub just passed me. But the next time I thought about an opportunity that I wanted to create was when I came back from America to Croatia. It was around 2002. And I came here to study. I studied engineering and business. And I always wanted to work in marketing, in advertising. And I love the way, marketing media allows messages to just get communicated, how companies can use marketing to communicate their messages to their clients, to their customers. And so I was here, and I started looking around, what is it that I could do in Croatia that maybe hasn't been done yet? And I came to the conclusion that the market for media is pretty saturated. You already had, Croatian television, that was the monopoly of the television. You had newspapers that are already there. The barrier of entry into the newspaper business is huge. You had radio stations already. You had a couple companies doing the billboards. So I was thinking, and I remember that in America, in Silicon Valley where I lived, when you go to the store and you buy something, you get a receipt, right? And on the back side of the receipt, there were advertisements. And so, I was thinking to myself, okay, this is good. I haven't seen this yet in Zagreb. So I started going around to the store, seeing if anybody was giving out, receipts with advertisements, and nobody was giving them out. So I'm thinking to myself, my God, I'm going to make millions. I already picked out the color of my Porsche. This is it. I found my calling, right? So I contacted a couple of companies, a couple of these chain stores, Konzum, Bila, Diona, and everything. And after some negotiation, and I put a lot of effort into it, it took months and months, and I think they really got tired of me calling them. Finally, it was Konzum. They said, okay, listen, let's just do like a pilot project. We'll take your roles with the advertisement, and we'll try it out. And so I said, great. And I started talking to clients, and I went to a couple companies to present the idea. And it turns out nobody was interested in advertising on these roles, right? And I already opened up a company. I have a website. I did, brochure. Yeah, I did the whole spiel. And it just flopped. And so I gave up really quickly because, I just saw that it wasn't something that was feasible. And then at that time, I kind of moved away from business, and I was more concentrated. I was really active in student government. I was the president of the student union at my college. So I was really active with these clubs and organizing different humanitarian stuff. And one day I was in the student mensa, in the student restaurant, right? And I was standing there in line with the tray, okay? I'm sure many of you know the tray. And I was looking down, and I was thinking to myself, my God, this is such an ugly tray. It's brown. It's been used thousands of times. Why do I not have like a piece of paper on it that's going to create a barrier between the tray and my food? And so as I was, in student government, I called up the student center, and I was like, hello, my name is Marko Nožica, and I'm calling on behalf of students everywhere. Can you please give us a piece of paper on our tray so that we can feel like it's at least like a hygienic situation? And they said, listen, we'd love to, but the problem, have you thought of the logistics? We have 50,000 meals a day, and you guys eat for 3 kunas a meal. We can't afford this. So I started thinking, well, what can I do to make this go, and that maybe someone else pays for it? And I remembered, hey, maybe these tray liners, these papers, could be a media for companies to advertise towards students. So I went back to the student center, and I gave them this idea. I said, hey, would you allow me to print these with advertisements and give them to you? I can even pay you something for this. And they said yes. And so I wasn't that excited as before, because I learned, don't get too excited about, things, because you'll fall really hard if it doesn't go through. So anyway, so I had the green light from the student center that said, okay, let's do it. I went to the clients, and I started talking to the clients, and oh my God, the clients were interested. And we started doing this. And I'm sure many of you used, if you went to the student canteens, you used our tray liners. And today, this has been 8 years since we started doing this, and today this is the #1 media towards students. And on the other side, we were able to, advance the hygiene in the student canteens. We work with over 40 non-government and student organizations where we give free advertising space to them. So we were able to make this great project that's lasting. And not only that, but the company I founded, we were able to build on this knowledge of creating direct media. We create this thing called focused media that surrounds certain demographics. And in these eight years, we've created over 10 different media in Croatia that do the exact same thing. And but it's interesting how the first idea with the receipts, and this idea, how they're both very good ideas, but one succeeded and one didn't. But what's the deal? Well, first of all, they were both, when you look at what makes a good opportunity, that is, they were both very unique ideas. Also the receipts, they weren't yet available on the market, so it's something that someone could do. And these tray liners were also something that didn't exist yet in Croatia. So they both had this thing called a unique selling point. But the problem with the first idea that the second idea didn't have, is the fact that the tray liners found a critical mass of customers. And it's interesting because this critical mass of customers is such an important characteristic of a good opportunity. I don't know if you know this, but 90% of companies, of startups, fail within the first 5 years. And Fortune magazine, they did this study to see why that is. And the main reason why companies fail is because they weren't able to find customers. They didn't find a critical mass of customers. And so when you're thinking about ideas and when you think about opportunities, these two criteria must be met. And it's interesting, every year or so, I get somebody that comes into my office and tries to sell me the idea about the receipts in the stores. And every time I bring out, my business plan and my brochures, and I tell them, listen, it's a great idea, but it's not a good opportunity. It's not going to work. And to this day, nobody has been able to successfully launch it, even though there's been numerous companies that have tried. So I think that I'd like to end my presentation today with a little bit of advice to the students here. And that is that the key to be able to recognizing a good opportunity is the effort you put into it, is how many times you try something and you fail. The more you try, the more opportunity you will meet, and then the more success you will have. And don't think about failure. Failure is just a part of your path towards success. So, to the young or future mothers here, listen to Mišo Kovač. Thank you.